You have to understand, as a landscape photographer, your value as a landscape photographer, your worth as a landscape photographer is not correlated at all with how many likes you get, with how many followers you have, with how many comments you get on a post. All right, guys, so I wanted to talk about something that has really and literally been like weighing on my mind in the past few weeks. And a lot of you have echoed this whenever I talk about it on social media or Instagram or on the YouTube polls. And that is sharing photos and getting the anxiety of actually sharing your photos on social media or sharing your photos onto like Facebook groups or things like that. Like, you have to understand, as a landscape photographer, your value as a landscape photographer, your worth as a landscape photographer is not correlated at all with how many likes you get, with how many followers you have, with how many comments you get on a post. All of these things are so superficial and are wound up in the algorithms of these social media contexts. We have to realize that as landscape photographers, if we love a photo, but it gets less likes than a different photo, that doesn't mean that the photo sucks. That just means that less people probably saw it. We have to get out of visualizing our photographs in their worth in terms of likes and comments and shares. It's so easy to get into a situation where you're constantly thinking, well, that person got more likes than me, and immediately your mind goes to, I'll never be as good as them. I'll never be as good of a photographer as them. And I can tell you this because I've been through the exact same thing. This is so important for all of us to realize that as social media grows and as more people start sharing landscape photography on social media platforms, that our worth is not predicated on likes, comments, or shares. Guys, I struggled with this so hard when I was first starting out with landscape photography. I thought that I would never become a professional photographer because I couldn't hack it on social media. When I actually became a professional photographer and started shooting all the time, full time, I quickly realized that that has no effect on your income or how good of a photographer are you. It's the same thing of getting caught up in how many megapixels your camera has. In no way, form, or fashion does the amount of megapixels you have on your camera relay back to how good of a photographer you are. We have got to stop focusing on likes, on followers, on comments, on shares, because it's ruining our worth and our self-image in photography. It's creating anxiety and it's creating depression. We've got to stand against this and fight this. We've got to start to realize that when that thought starts to creep into our mind, that we'll never be as good as that person because look at all their followers, look at all their likes. That has nothing to do with anything. Keep trucking. I want you to pick up the camera in your hand right now and get outside and photograph just something. If you can't get outside, photograph something creatively inside. Keep working, keep hustling, keep grinding, because eventually you're gonna crack the surface if you're working to get better, and you're gonna be able to value yourself as a photographer based on your love of your personal style and not the likes that you're getting on your images.